Welcome back to another crop update. I wanted to come back with a crop update especially for this new hybrid that I've got here from Pioneer. It's got everything I've been looking for in a hybrid. It's not real tall. As you can see, it isn't much taller than me actually. When you get in there and you're talking maybe a foot taller than I am. It has lots of leaf surface to it. It's got perfect height placement for the ears. The ears are right at that nice area where you get strong winds along, and which we've had, and I haven't noticed any of this corn gone over yet at all. We've had some really strong winds, but keep that ear placement about here, not way down towards the ground, but you know, that what are we talking, 30 inches off of the ground. And we got nice leaf surface here. I mean, overall, this corn has had perfect germination, even emergence amongst all the seeds coming up. It's not too tall, it's just the perfect height, and the ear placement is excellent, just the perfect height. I haven't dug up the roots yet. I think we'll try that here. We just had some rain, so I think I'm going to try that here the next update I do here in another week or two. But it's like I've been waiting a long time for a hybrid like this to come along, and I want to know who's the man that did it, because this is just really excellent. I'm very happy with everything I've seen so far. I mean, look at the leaves, they're just really healthy. I have no fungicide on this cornfield. I do across the road, I'll show you in just a second. But this one is just really performing excellent. Look at the leaf placements, nice and full of leaves. I expect something hopefully very well out of this. The only thing we're waiting for on this thing is what's it going to yield. That's the only thing we got left. Everything else is covered. This is like the perfect hybrid so far. So I am very excited about this one. I just almost can't wait till harvest just to see what it does. Now on this field, it's actually, I have about 5 acres in a very dry, light soil. And we've been suffering some very dry conditions this year. And so that'll be interesting too. How is it able to take these adverse conditions compared to the other hybrids I got? Let's go down here just a little bit further. Okay, right next to it here. Right next to it here we have the 9998. And I've always considered a pretty good standard hybrid. I put it up against DeKalb a few years ago, and they were just neck and neck in yield and moisture. Was very happy with it. And this again, I mean, we're talking very good ears. The problem I don't like about it is I believe that it's maybe just a hair too tall. The ear placement is good, but we don't need all of this stock here. And I did have just one spot down here where it kind of leaned over a bit, but it was a very small spot, and we had some very high winds. So actually it's already kind of leaned back again. It was right by the edge of the field. So otherwise, I mean, 9998 is a good hybrid overall. But that new one there, for what they've bred that one for height, ear placement, leaf surface, definitely be much more interested in that if it's yielding, especially if it's yielding better than this one. So, I mean, this is good corn, but I hope that one's even better, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, I believe it was 9624 on that one. If it's not, I'll put it up on the screen. I have a hard time remembering all these numbers. This one I remember because I've planted it a few times, so I know this one. Let's go across the road and I'll show you that field. This is that corn on corn field I told you about in the last crop update that I am very excited about. The emergence was excellent on it. And over here I've got, I believe it was 9608Q. Again, I'll put it up on the screen in case I get my numbers wrong. And that one's 9489Q. I planted all Qs except 9998, and I don't believe that one had that available. But even from here, you can basically see the line right there between the two hybrids. Let's go in and take a look. Yeah, this 9608Q. Nice hybrid, again, not extremely tall. It's got fair ear surface, very healthy. I did put a fungicide on this corn field because it's corn on corn, and you know, that may make a difference here. It'll be interesting to see how this one yields. I think the leaves look excellent in this field again. If I had any complaint, maybe the ear placement is just a hair higher than where I'd like to see it. I'd like it to be a little bit closer to that 9624. But the height of the stalk, I won't want it to be any taller. I still think the newer hybrid has maybe a hair more leaf surface. I'm not sure of that though. I really have to do a little bit more looking across the field. Here we're in that 9489Q. Great leaf surface on this corn. I can see why it's been a good yielder. There again though, I have some complaints. A little bit too tall, way too high of ear placement on this one. I mean, we're talking 4.5 feet tall ear placement on this. They tell me that if anything's going to have a tendency sometimes to blow over, it's going to be this one. Well, I can see why. I mean, the stalk is just way too high and the ears are way too high in the air. You got to get these ear placement down a little bit more. I understand some success in yield is great, but that corn's got to stand for harvest in order to get that into the combine. Otherwise, that yield isn't going to be there either. It's going to make it a real hassle and slows down harvest. So that would be my complaint on this one. However, really looks nice. So hopefully I don't get hit with another wind, anything happen to it, because so far I think it's looking very good. Oh, I should mention as well, along with that fungicide, I did put 2 gallons of corn on all my corn. Now this field I did it just when it was tasseling because I wanted to get that fungicide on. I waited until after full tassel to get my corn on the remainder of the cornfields. And so they've all been side dressed. This one's been side dressed twice, including the corn. So it'll be kind of exciting to see that this is one of the nicest cornfields I think I've ever raised here right in this field. And being it's corn on corn even makes me that more excited to see how that works out. Right here is a very high chlorosis area. Like I was telling you on the last video, I didn't put soybeans on this one. I'm very happy I didn't because boy, the corn looks excellent on it. I know the soybeans would have been struggling some. We're on a different field than I was in the last crop update. This is a very severe iron chlorosis spot as well as the last time we were in. I just wanted to show you something here that is it's really easy to see here because we're close by. I'm kind of on the edge of it here, and so I put 3 pounds of soy green on right here, and you can see this is August 8th today, and you can see how hard these plants are struggling, you know, to make a good plant yet. And that's 3 pounds of soy green. But this is a very severe spot for iron chlorosis. Now I'll show you what it looks like if you don't put on 3 pounds of soy green. Normally, those beans will make it through there when you put the soy green on and be just fine. Okay, I should have gone at least one more round with the soy green. I didn't, but here's the difference. There you've got it. Those plants are just sick. They're lucky they're alive. And some are dead. I mean, that one, it's had it. There's nothing going to be out of these plants right there. Without the soy green, you basically get hardly anything. Some spots it gets so bad that it's just a black spot. And so you really need that soy green. Now normally 3 pounds of soy green over here would make them look like normal soybean plants at this time of the year. Just extreme case this year. But without, you can certainly see the difference. I mean, that is severe there. And then as you can see, at least the plants have a chance here. They came back to growing, but are struggling. It's still a struggle for them. They're not going to be able to make beans like they normally are on a more normal year. So that's too bad. The next crop update will go back to the same field and take a look at that again. But there I had 4 pounds of soy green on. Between the 3 and the 4 pounds didn't seem to make a lot of difference as far as what I can see. Basically the plant came out of it about the same. So it just, I have this issue and actually most of the farms that I've got, it's in areas of the field. Some areas are larger where we had that corn on corn, a very large area. That's probably my largest area of severe iron chlorosis. And so that's why I pick varieties. I try to do the best I can to pick them for iron chlorosis so that between that and soy green, they can pull through. Most of the time they do. I was very disappointed with these 2 hybrids that I have, or 2 varieties that I have of soybeans, because they should have done much better than this with the scores they gave them. They gave them for IDC. So that's my biggest disappointment for this year. So that's my crop update. I did it kind of quick this time, but next time I'm going to get a little bit more of a review of another brand of corn I have. I do have more Pioneer numbers this year than I do of other brands. So I've been kind of concentrating on them a little bit more so far, but next time we're going to take a look at another field of corn as well that has a full flex ear to it. We're going to take a look at that. I've been holding back on that a little bit because it did suffer a lot of green snap in that corn, and that was kind of disappointing. It's going to see if that flex ear can make up some of that difference. So I've been kind of waiting a little bit longer to do a crop update on that. So until next time, we'll see ya.